So technology is always changing and improving things in our lives, and the big thing right now I think is smartphones and cameras. And as a YouTuber, and since video is such a big part of my life, I figured I'd do this video about the history of my YouTube cameras, because I get this question a lot, like what camera do you use, or what camera do you recommend, what camera should I buy? As a YouTuber, it's like a constant battle for not trying to get the latest and greatest camera. And I'm gonna go over my history of YouTube cameras that I've used since I've started uploading YouTube videos in late 2008. So let's just start right there. Okay, the first YouTube camera I ever used was like this JVC cassette camcorder. It recorded on cassette tapes. That's all you need to know. This was like a hand-me-down from my dad. I think he gave this to me, and I used that because that's the only thing I had at the time to create videos with, to record with. Moving on to my next camera. I think my next camera was my MacBook Pro. I think I got my first MacBook Pro in April of 2009, and it has an iSight webcam on it. So I started using that for some of my videos. I actually started using my screen recording software a lot because I didn't have actually a good camera to record physically with. So I did a lot of screen capture videos. But not too long after that, in June 2009, I actually got my first camcorder myself that I bought myself. It was a CANON FS100 camcorder. It didn't shoot HD, it was still standard definition, but it was like $200 and something. So I thought it was a big deal at the time. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be great. I got a high quality camera. I got it refurbished from like Tiger Direct. Now around that same time in June 2009, I actually got my first iPhone. It was the iPhone 3GS. That didn't take HD videos, it was still standard definition. And I used that maybe a couple times, not that often, but it did count as a video camera at that time because I didn't have a lot to work with. So like I said, for the next like 2 years, I did a lot of screen capture videos, and I used the Canon FS100 for the videos that I had to record myself in. And then August 2011 is when I got my first HD camera. That was the Canon POWERSHOT L300HS. That was a big deal. If you don't remember that, that was like the first compact digital camera, vlogging type camera that took full HD video, one of the first mainstream ones. And everybody was really excited for this, so I jumped on the bandwagon. I was like, yep, I'm gonna get this. This is gonna make my videos so much better. It didn't really make my videos better because it's not the camera that makes it better. It's your creativity, your storytelling, how you want the viewer to transform from the time they start your video to the time they end your video. So it's not all about the camera, but this was an exciting deal for me because it was my first full HD camera, and I used that for a while. And then about 1 year later, in September of 2012, that's when I took the leap and I got my first DSLR camera. It was the Canon T31. I got it refurbished, of course. This was like a big deal for me, even bigger than the Canon, because the Canon POWERSHOT, there was no interchangeable lenses. You just turn it on and you record. For the T31, that is a DSLR, so it's like, it's got all these settings, and I didn't know how to use it. I didn't even take time to teach myself how to use it. I just got it, and I'm like, okay, if I want to make professional quality videos, like all the videos that I was seeing on YouTube at the time, I was like, I got to get a camera like this. So I went and got the cheapest one I could find, which was the T31 at the time. The T31 is a great camera. I recommended that for the longest time for people who are looking to buy their first DSLR for YouTube. Now I recommend the T5i, because the T5i is the big brother of the T3i, which I think the T6i is out now. But the T5i is like a great starter DSLR if you're looking for your first DSLR camera. So the T3i was my main camera, and then about a year later, in November 2013, I got my first HD webcam, which is the Logitech C920, and I still use this to this day. It's my go-to webcam. It's connected to my Mac Mini. I use it for live Skype calls, or if I need to record myself if I'm doing a voiceover. I use it, and it works great. For $60-something, it's one of the things that I think all YouTubers should get. And then a little bit later after that, in July of 2014, that's when I got my baby, the GH4, the Panasonic Lumix GH4, my first 4K camera. And I'm telling you, this has been my best friend when it comes to cameras. Definitely my favorite by far that I've ever owned, and I'm still using it to this day. It's my primary camera. I'm using it right now. And this is what I've used to build my videography business around, and I use to film all my YouTube videos with. 99% of the YouTube videos that I film, the primary camera is the GH4. It's such a great camera. A lot of people have moved away from the GH4. They're like, the sensor's too small. And you get the idea. A lot of people moved on because they just think the GH4 is old news, and they're going on to the Sony a7S II, which I'm not saying the Sony a7S II is a bad camera. It's a great camera. It's kind of one I've been looking at, but people are quick to move on from good cameras just because they think the latest and greatest will make their videos better. GH4, man, I have no complaints whatsoever, only praise for it. It's such a good camera. It's easy to use, takes 4K video. I'm going to be sad to let this go someday, but for now I'm sticking with it. So 1 year after I got my GH4, I got the SONY RX100 IV in July of 2015. That was my first 4K vlogging camera. I got that as an addition to my setup so I can have a good high quality vlogging camera to take on the go. And that's what I use to this day when I'm doing vlogs or videos when I'm traveling and just need a quick camera to pull out and take a video with. I use that. It works great for what it's built for. It works fantastically. I use that to film my Tesla reservation vlog video. If you haven't seen that, you can check that out and see how that looks. But I do like that Sony RX100 IV a lot. And finally, my latest camera purchase was the Panasonic G7 in November of 2015. I bought that just to be a secondary camera to my GH4 because the G7 is kind of like the little brother to the GH4. It does like 90% of what the GH4 can do, but at a way cheaper cost. So it's like half the price. So I got that as my secondary camera and mostly for my videography business as a stationary camera. And I've used it a couple times for my YouTube videos, but GH4 is still the main one. And I'm now recommending the G7 to any YouTuber who wants to start off and get a high quality 4K camera for under $600. It's a great deal. And that brings me to now 2016. Based off my track record, I think it's safe to say that I'm due for a new camera soon. I don't know why, but it's just like, as a YouTuber, you're always looking to get something bigger and better and learn more because you're always trying to push yourself. Now, it's not all about the camera. It's not all about the quality. It's about the stories and the videos that you do, the reviews, whatever type of video you're doing. It's all about the content and not the camera. But of course, it does help to have the highest quality possible within your budget. What do you think my next camera should be? Do you have any suggestions? I would love to hear them. If you are not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button because you'll want to see videos from me in the future show up in your sub box when I do tech videos almost every single week. Also, make sure you hit that like button, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. My name is Andy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.